Moving on. It's been 6 months since the peace deal was signed between the United States and the Taliban, and not even a hint of peace has emerged in the country. Taliban is on a rampage and has killed scores since then. Other terrorist groups, which were supposed to be not given any space in the territory, have already made deep inroads. The inhuman attack on maternity hospital was one incident where they had registered their presence. The US president has reiterated his commitment of bringing back all troops from the region, but it simply doesn't appear a pragmatic solution in current times. Have a look.
Successive deadly attacks post the signing of peace deal between the Taliban and the United States on 29th February this year has only worsened the precarious security situation of the war-torn country. While some of these attacks were carried out by the Taliban, it is the active and growing presence of other terrorist groups, including the ISIS, that is mounting troubles for both the US and the Kabul establishment. Despite Taliban's tantrums and periodic swings in their decisions, a limited level of peace process had kicked off and optimism was setting in, with both sides releasing each other's detainees. But today, with more attacks attributed to other terrorists, Washington's plan of withdrawing its troops from Afghanistan has suffered a blow. President Trump, who faces ballot in this year's end for his second presidential term, is keen on bringing his troops back. A promise he made in his previous campaign and has reiterated throughout his tenure.
We're dealing with the Taliban. We're dealing with the president. The president now has gotten themselves straightened out with the two presidents, but we're dealing with, because they had, as you know, they had competing factors and factions. Yeah, I think we want to we're there 19 years. We're really not acting as soldiers, we're acting as police. And we're not sent over there to be policemen, but we're there 19 years. And yeah, I think that's enough, and they understand. We're having very positive talks. We want to bring our soldiers back home. We want to bring them back home.
The leadership in Washington has repeatedly expressed its optimism, but the future from current situation appears treacherous. Zalmay Khalilzad, who has been the negotiator-in-chief during the entire process, has even asked other countries to talk to the Taliban, a clear sign that the US is not convinced and Taliban is not abiding by the rules of the truce. President Ashraf Ghani, who changed his stance from defensive to offensive, has again returned to defensive mode and has said that negotiations is the only way peace can be restored in the country.
راه حل اساسی شروع کردن مذاکرات صلح است و در یک بار هیئت مذاکره افغانستان حاضر است که فوراً مذاکرات شروع کنه. یک هیئت عامه شمول افغانستان است. تمام افغانان در این حضور دارند و این هیئت ان شاء الله تعالی با قوت از ملت و دولت افغانستان نمایندگی خواهد کرد.
The only element of hope for Washington, which spends $4 billion each year on Afghan security, is that Taliban has been showing some responsibility lately and allowing concessions to Kabul, which it considered a stooge of West. However, it is hard to understand as to why the US has not slashed the security it said to withhold in March. As per media reports, the Pentagon has been reluctant to shave the funds announced by Pompeo, and Defense Secretary Mark Esper has not provided guidance to his agency on to how to carry it out. It was unclear why the cut has not been made, whether President Trump's administration is not hopeful of a peace returning to the country, or there is some disconnect between the state and the Defense Department regarding the issue.